I see. Yeah, you actually saying something that I think you need to at least go deeper and explain more. When you talk about mindset change,
Yes.
I've had a lot of leaders of this country talking about that. It cuts across not only the youth but also the adults, that you need to change your mindset. You need to change your mindset, and people are like, what's the right message? What are they really telling us to do? What's changing my mindset? What's the meaning of that? What do we mean when we say you need to change your mindset, especially to the youth?
Because there's a narrative out there of dependency, which is very wrong. A narrative that this is my life is someone's responsibility. I'm supposed to be provided for. I am supposed to go through this. I am supposed to have an environment that is like this. And I think over time there has been a lot of mistaken identity between dependency and entitlement. Because as a citizen, there are things that you are entitled to, that you expect from your leaders, that you expect from your government. For example, social services. You should be able to access good health services when you are not well. You should be able to access good infrastructure, yes? But the government might not necessarily be responsible for your individual job. The government will be responsible for creating an environment that you can get a job in. You understand the difference?
Yeah.
Yes, so that dependency syndrome is what has affected our mindset a lot. And it has not just ended there, it has dug deep into the politics of the country, into governance, and into the decisions that we make. You have seen that affect the type of leaders and the quality that we choose, because people are so much infringed in dependency, then they get to vote the highest bidder who gets to provide the bread and butter today, forgetting the future. Because I mean, you're making a contract with this person to represent your interests, to make decisions on your behalf for the next 5 years. So if you're going to let that be determined by salt, then you have no moral authority to demand for results tomorrow. And in that way, it is your mindset that affected the entire future for the next years until the next election.
So you do it actually today, not thinking that what you've done today will actually manifest in the future, probably on a negative side.
Precisely.
Okay. So how can we go about that? Because I'm looking at the solution to be able to achieve the Uganda want, where every youth is happy to live in, and how can we go about that dependency syndrome that we are in right now as youths?
Two things: sensitization, and with sensitization comes civic education. I think we need to...
Who should do the sensitization and the civic education?
Everybody that is responsible. It is not just a role that you're going to leave out to government, because the civic education should be enrolled in schools. It should be done by our leaders at all levels, from national to the lowest. It should be done by parents. It should be done by any responsible citizen that has the right information. It should be in position to translate it to another.
The right information.
Yes.
I picked up that.
I had to emphasize that, because there is transferring just information, half-baked or even wrong information. We've had incidences where the truth is very different from what people know. And the scenarios have shown over time that sometimes people just believe what they get to hear first. By the time you come out as a leader to try and correct that, you are too late.
You're too late. Okay, away from unemployment, is there any other challenge faced by youth that you really want to talk about?
Yes, there are quite a number. Let's talk about the girl child. There are high levels of teenage pregnancies. We're still struggling with high levels of defilement cases due to a number of issues that you have seen going around the country. There is a lot of high moral decay among our current generation, and quite a number of issues. So it looks like we have a lot of work to do.
Okay, we have a lot of work to do. But just going back to the issues faced by the girl child, you know, you've been doing a lot in doing the sensitization and trying to say that, okay, the girl child is being empowered. In line with what you do, what do you think all of us as a nation we need to do to make sure that we address the issues of the girl child in this country?
Matters of the girl child are some of the issues that I have always thought are pertinent to everyone, because in one way or another, we all have a girl child in our lives that we relate to. For starters, each of us is born by a mother. And then that is not enough. You have a sister, you have a friend, you have a neighbor, you have a niece, you have an auntie, and you will agree with me that women are a great cornerstone in the development of a family and a country. When you give a woman a responsibility, you are sure of results. You have seen incidences of where mothers are taking charge of children and the home. It is way better than when you leave the responsibility to a man. And that is no offense to the male gender, but it is just basically the truth.
Even at times they also perform, they do also perform.
The men? No, they don't just perform, they play a great role. But I'm just saying that the roles are different. They are played in a different way. Women who are empowered and have a voice make better citizens. And they also nurture better children into development. The incidences that we've had are that most of the victims of teenage pregnancies, you find that their children turn out to be the same. I have always thought that it is a very, very, very heartbreaking scenario to see a child raising a child, to find an 11-year-old breastfeeding a baby. I mean, what do you make of that as a country? Where is our future going? Those of us who are leaders today, who are seated in different positions, are going to be replaced by the ones who are being born tomorrow. So if they cannot be able to access a formal education and complete it, then our country will be shattered. Who will be on table tomorrow to make decisions when we are away? Who will build on the foundation that we are laying? Imagine the generation that is ahead of us if we hadn't gone in school. Who would be the National Female Youth MP today? So it is very important that each and every one of us plays a central role in supporting the girl child, in creating a conducive environment to ensure that, one, they are safe, two, they can complete a decent education, and just they can thrive with their dreams. It is not funny at all when I see cases and different scenarios of where men of adult sane minds are engaging school-going children in sexual intercourse. I mean, let us help each other here. And I have always called upon all my male counterparts in all fields to be at the front line of this cause, because I think it is much more meaningful when we have men at the hem of it than women ourselves. Because I think when women are the ones making noise all the time, the message does not go right sometimes. So when you have a man passionate about it, then you know, okay, there is a risk that has been reduced at a greater percentage. Because we've had incidences where one gentleman impregnates 5 school-going children. And then you're like, what is this that we are dealing with? Communities are breaking down, families are breaking down, girls are dropping out of school every day. The enrollment numbers, when you compare them with the numbers of completion, that is P1 and P7, there's a huge difference. You'll find 100 girls enrolling in P1 and 5 sitting at P7. And you wonder where all the 95 have gone. They are stranded in the villages, carrying 1 or 2 or more babies. They are into early marriages, and their future is just doomed like that. So I think from a human perspective, first of all, but also from a responsibility sense as leaders, it is very important that we have a platform that works for each and every one of us.
And that, of course, can lead us to, we are going to talk about moral decadence just briefly, but when you talk about that, think about the children on the streets, you know, who are on the streets of Kampala and many other cities in this country. You always ask, what can we do about this? Because you see them stranded. Well, we don't know. So of course you heard from the media, maybe someone is behind there being on the street. Well, we can talk about that, but for now, we want to address this issue that these could be the leaders, as you're saying, of tomorrow. This could be the host of the Uganda we want of tomorrow, or be behind the camera, but they are stranded on the streets. And I'm always asking myself, what is that? Because we are seeing the problem, but we seem not to address the problem as we are supposed to. And I bring it over to you. What can we really do? Because we see the problem as a country, and we seem to neglect. We seem to, to forego, to ignore. And how can we handle that situation, Honorable?
I think handling the situation comes from each and every one of us, first of all, being patriotic about our country. Because in incidences like this, as the legislators, policies and laws have failed us. They are in existence, but the constitutionalism of them is very poor. It does not make sense for us to be on table making laws every day. They are defilement laws, and then we are dealing with teenage pregnancies. Because even when these cases are reported, you find the parents of the girls themselves are conniving with police behind the door, and the case disappears. So that means you're actually making our work harder.
Just to give an example, someone called me a few days ago, and they brought a girl from the village, from the east. She came to do some work, and the parents are calling the person from this side that you sent back our daughter. We want her to get married, and she's close to 14, 15 years.
Imagine.
They are calling her to go for marriage. You talked about early marriages, and you see that's even families, as you said, they really, we need to do something on that.
Yes.
Yeah, you can continue.
So I think each and every one of us as citizens of this country need to take up the responsibility that the future lies in our hands. And we play a very great stake. This is a multi-sectoral approach that needs to be taken by each and every one of us. The religious leaders, the community leaders, everyone that has a leadership position in every aspect, every person of sane mind that would love to see this country progress should be able to have a voice in this, because that is the only approach that is going to work now for us getting involved on the ground and ensuring that our surrounding is safe and is promoting the right cause. Yes.
Talk about moral decadence.
Moral decay in our generation, do you find it bad?
You think it's not bad?
No, I am just asking you because I am the one who gave you the issue. I gave you the issue. I mentioned that there is high moral decay in our generation. And I'm asking you, do you agree with me that
yes,
it is bad?
I do.
You do?
Thank you so much, Honorable Fiona Nyamutoro, for all those insights. And I believe you'll join us tomorrow for episode 2. Our viewers and our listeners, let's call it a day for today. And tomorrow we'll have her for the second episode. This is the Uganda we want. My name is Robert Mulanzi.